Hello everyone, I'm Vaishakhi, your learning buddy, and today I'll be trying to enhance your knowledge about the third and fourth stanza of the poem Daffodils, which are the two remaining stanzas which are not explained in the first video. Sparkling waves in glee. Now students, waves were existing in the Glencoyne Bay, by the side of which daffodils were dancing. They were twisting their heads very beautifully, remarkably. There, the waves were also dancing in the Glencoyne Bay. And the waves had a kind of tough competition with the dance of the daffodils. In the eye of the poet, according to the opinion of the poet William Wordsworth, the daffodils are dancing, the waves are also dancing. And they are giving tough competition to each other. But according to the poet is becoming judgmental here, and he is describing the dance of the daffodils to be something better, to be something far better than the dance of the waves in the Glencoyne Bay. And why is it so? The poet is saying the dance of the daffodils were far better because they were dancing in glee. Glee means being happy, to be glad. When someone is dancing, being happy, with a facial expression of happiness and laughter, then the dance automatically becomes something better than who is dancing with a face which is not very happy. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. Now students, in these two lines, two consecutive lines, the poet is using two synonyms of happiness. One is gay, gay means also happy, and jocund means also happy, glad. But the poet is trying to say that one person who is a poet from his mind cannot stop himself being happy in such a jocund company. Jocund means happy company. Now students, in this word jocund company, two words, in this phrase jocund company, the figure of speech transferred epithet is used. Now naturally what happens, jocund is in regular sense, jocund means an adjective which is denoting to our friends and family. But here, jocund company, company means who? Here the company is the daffodils. So jocund company, jocund daffodil flowers, it is not actually directly denoting to any friends or family. The adjective is denoting to the beautiful flowers, and that is why this is a transferred epithet, which means the adjective is transferred to some other noun than to whom it should have been denoted. Now, a real poet cannot stop himself from being happy in such a beautiful, natural, idyllic, beautiful situation where the daffodil flowers are there, the waves are dancing, the hill is there, the beautiful big trees are there, the beautiful sky with clouds floating on it is there, the beautiful valley is there. In such a beautiful situation, a poet cannot stop himself from being happy. So that is why a poet cannot stop himself being happy. The last two lines, I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. Now in this last line, the poet is talking about some kind of wealth. Now students, wealth does wealth mean something related to money all the time? Does wealth actually denote to our economical status only? Or it denotes to our psychological status of being happy, of being peaceful, and calm and quiet also denotes? That is a question. Now students, you ask yourself whether wealth only denotes to your monetary status or it also denotes to your physical and psychological well-being. Of course, wealth, health is wealth. Wealth is not something which is only related to money. Now the poet is saying, I gazed and gazed. Gaze means to watch something, observe something for a very prolonged period of time. The poet on that day, in the month of April 1802, in the company of his sister Dorothy by the side of the Glencoyne Bay, was actually very happy at the time. And he was watching the beautiful daffodils. And he could not stop himself from being happy. and he had hardly got a sense of time, that for how many hours I am watching at the daffodils. And then he himself questioning that what wealth, that I have been watching these daffodils for such a prolonged period of time, and after that what kind of wealth, what kind of monetary happiness, or what kind of economical well-being I have acquired after this. Now the last stanza of the poem, which is a very very important part of the poem, denoting to the second theme of the poem, that is the nature is having the power to cure our pains, our sufferings. And of course this is a stanza which is denoting a time gap. The first three stanzas are written, or it can be said that they are denoting to a very particular period of time, that is when the poet was by the side of the bay, in the company of the beautiful daffodils. But the fourth stanza is a stanza which is denoting, which is reflecting the poet's condition after many years. Several years have passed, and the poet is now finding out the answer of that question which he thought while looking at the daffodils, that what wealth I have acquired by watching the daffodils for such a long time. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood. For oft means they are often, very often. Nowadays I am aged. Now after several years have passed, the poet wrote this poem when he was 37 years old. But now when he was 32 years old, and it was published when he was 37 years old. So the poet is saying that after many years, suppose 20 years passed, and now when he is aged, he is mostly unhappy. He is mostly, it might be because of his disease, or because of his sadness, or because he is so much in a kind of sad state of being, that he remains on his couch most of the time. He lies on his couch. What is this couch? Couch is a kind of, you can say, a chair which can be extended to the level that you can lie also, you can sleep also on that. That is a couch. In vacant or in pensive mood. Nowadays the poet's mood is very very off, mostly very very sad, and he is also in a kind of mood or emotion which is vacant, when he has nothing to think, when his brain stops to work, stops to think. That is his vacant and pensive mood. The flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. Now who are this they? The daffodils are already personified. Again personification. They flash. So who are they? The daffodils. The daffodils come back in front of my eyes. When I close my physical eyes, this is our physical eyes, children. But we have an inward eye also, that is called our memory, or that is called our power of concentration, or anything, any kind of intelligent qualities which our brain is having. That is inner eye. Mostly it is a memory. Now the poet is saying, when I close my eyes, very often I can see the daffodils. They are dancing in front of my eyes. And that is the bliss of solitude. Now students, solitude means loneliness. Can loneliness be happy? Can loneliness bring blessings to your life? Can you be happy when you are extremely lonely, there is no one around you? No. Only the people who are having the spiritual bliss or the bliss of the God, they can only be happy in the loneliness, while they are alone, while they are in the company of no one else except him or her. Even in that kind of condition, he or she can be happy if he is having or she is having the spiritual strength, the strength which is directly connecting to God. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Now the poet has already given the message of the poem that in the lap of nature, while we are very close to nature, or any beautiful object of nature, we are very close to them, we can feel the blessings of God. G.B. Shaw, in his very famous essay, Freedom, talking about man's slavery to nature. Now what is this? Man's slavery to nature is something which you cannot avoid. Nature, being a mother, is always blessing us, is always relaxing us, is always refreshing us. In return, nature always takes something from me. Like you cannot stop the nature's call. You have to go to bed, you have to eat, you have to clean yourself, and all these things are actually nature's slavery. And in return, what we get, extreme amount of satisfaction at the end of the day. After you are exhausted with the day's work, with the day's chores, you go to your washroom and you bathe yourself. You get the kind of relaxation, a kind of rejuvenation, and that is the blessings of nature. And then my heart with pleasure feels and dances with the daffodils. And now the poet is saying that after this kind of situation, that blessings of solitude I have acquired, my heart is happy. Now it happens that all the unhappiness, all the pains, all the worries and weeds of my life, they have been absorbed, just like a blotting paper absorbs the black color or the blue color you must have seen in chemistry lab. Just like a blotting paper, this picture of daffodils, dancing daffodils, when I see in front of them, in front of my eyes, these dancing daffodils, they blots, they absorbs the kind of unhappiness, the kind of sad state of being, the kind of vacant mood I am going through, all these things, just absorb. And then what happens after that? My heart is happy. Now I am extremely happy and I am extremely delighted to see this kind of dance of daffodils. And this is the wealth the poet has talked about in the third stanza. This is the wealth, and this wealth is not something monetary, is not something related to our financial status, but of course this wealth is something which is better and which is only given by the benevolent God. If you have any queries, any questions regarding this poet daffodils, please write in the comment section below. We will definitely discuss about the answers of those questions in the next video. And everyone, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you everyone.